So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
Being used to determine the 8 qualifiers. 4 have been determined. We've got 4 men's games on tap tonight. And the winners will all advance to another chance to qualify at 9 p.m. This is Kevin Cooey facing off against Magnus Ramsfjell. Cooey was the higher seeded team coming into this, so he's got the last rock advantage. He is throwing the Yellowstones, regardless of what our scoreboard says. They already had a stone slip into the ring, so there's been a couple of hits. Now Carrick Martin with his second, throwing up the corner guard. This is just the 5th stone of the end here, so they cannot make a play on that guard yet. "24 teams began play here. The men's side, I think all of their games started Thursday. There were a handful of women's games that actually started Wednesday night. They played 6 pools of 4. And the playoffs, it's an interesting format. It's something I hadn't seen before. I gather it's been done a couple of times, and it is very interesting because you play a 3-game round robin. They'll take the 6 pool winners and the next 2 best teams overall. Those teams, those 8 teams, played off for basically the first 4 spots into the qualifier. The losers drop down. They'll play in another qualifier game, that game at 9 o'clock tonight, against the winners of the 4 games on the ice right now. So essentially, you've got the 6 pool winners, and the next best 2 are in the page 1-2 games. There's 4 mini page setups. And then the next best 8 teams play in the 3-4 games. That's what we're looking at here, is basically those 3-4 games. Attempt at the run back gets absolutely stuffed there. Bit of a bad break. You'd love to make the double, but if you don't make the double, you'd at least hope that you would pop it out into the open somehow. Gives the Ramsfjell team a chance to throw a second guard. Pretty well Well done. Lots of separation. You can see it's not even in the overhead. Lots of separation between the red and the yellow. He's still going to look for the double peel. If you hit it just right, you could run that yellow back and take care of the shot stone at the corner of the button as well. Gets one, gets two. That'll be all, and the shooter stays for a long guard. On to third stones now. This is Martin Sasktel. Magnus Ramsfjell is the second. Gote Nepstad, the lead. And the skip in the house, Magnus Ramsfjell. And not able to get that by. Just rubs off. It will. Well, it might have left enough of a port to go after it directly. Tyler Tardy throws the third stones for this team. Carrick Martin, the lead with the brush on the ice. Aaron Sluchinski is the second, and I believe he's still holding the broom in the house when Kevin Cooey throws. That's the lineup this team started with when they picked up Aaron Sluchinski last year. They did go for a stretch this season where Aaron was actually throwing third stones in a more traditional lineup, but they've gone back to Tyler Tardy throwing the third stones. On this one right away, has to get by the long guard. I don't think it's going to. And with that quiet wait, is there a chance that he leaves that in the rings? Oh, it is just going to get through the side of the house. It doesn't even kill it. Cooey now sitting one and a chance to bring a second one in, and we go from perhaps an opportunity to steal or at least get a force to this could be a chance to set up a deuce. Wants to Christmas tree this year. He's not actually looking to dead bury it. It's going to be a little deep. Chips off the other yellow stone, and that pops the shot stone into the open enough that at the very least he's got the hit and roll available. Might be able to get to the inside enough to play the double. Doesn't really need it. The hit and roll, you roll on top of the other yellow stone. It's so late in the end, I don't see how Kevin Cooey deals with it now. Have to go for the skips deuce. We're back to possibly looking at a force opportunity here. Nepstad holding the broom in the house. Sasktel on the brush right away. By the front one. Makes the hit, does come across, nudges that second Yellowstone. Won't get it out, but the shooter well buried. Over a Roxwood behind the longer guard, no access from the outturn side. All Kevin Cooey can do now is try to freeze to that, get a corner freeze, and still a possibility he could get the skips deuce, but the blank certainly looks to be out of the question. little clean early, and they've backed away. Looking for curl now. This is likely an indication they think it's heavy and it's got to hit something or they're not going to get anything. And it will slide all the way through and out of play. Well, now a chance for Ramsfjell to really put some pressure on. If he could bury this top corner of the button, Kevin Cooey may have no choice but to try to draw to the other half of the button. And he was just heavy. He's going to have to change his path and still find the weight for the tee line. This has to be made first. Even if he's short, it'll change the path that Kevin Cooey has to throw down. Big opportunity here for Ramsfjell in the first end. Must-win game for these teams. There's no second chance for them now. They all have to, all the teams on the ice right now have to win to stay alive. This is looking pretty good. He's going to get right down to the corner of his own stone, chisel off a little bit. So he's got about a third of the stone in the button, dead buried. And all Kevin has, as you see Aaron Sluchinski put the broom down, he's got to catch what's left of the button. Through the house on his first one, he's got to go a little wider on this one. Down right away. They're kind of looks like they're waiting on a line call. This is really starting to go. Really curling. Got to get by the redstone at the top of the button. They may have left this too long. And it will come up short. It's a steal of two here in the opening end for Ramsfjell. He jumps out to the 2-0 lead. Kevin Cooey will once again have last rock in the second.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatchewan in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Oh. Two nothing as we begin play here in the second end. Magnus Ramsfjell with the big steal in the opening end. Made an outstanding draw to the corner of his own stone with the last one. And Kevin Cooey had to go a little bit wider. Had actually decent weight, but you know, that's the problem when you have to go that little bit wider. They were unsure of the path, and by the time they realized they needed to sweep, it was already too late. So it's 2 points on the board for Ramsfjell. He brings the first one into the top of the forefoot here. The corner guard goes up. Now they guard shot stone, and Carrick Martin with his second stone will look to play the freeze onto shot. This one might be a little bit strong as well. Will slide by it and all the way out the back, out of play. Well, not exactly happening the exact same way, but back to the situation we had in the first hit where Ramsfjell having an opportunity to throw the second guard on shot stone, and Kevin Cooey's going to have a little work to do here once again. Trying to throw the very high guard here. There's a lot of rotation on this, so it's going to carry a bit. Oh, that's really nicely done, and gets a little spin at the end. Pretty good separation between the two guards. Still, they're going to take a run at it for sure. Aaron Sluchinski will try to get at least two, and if you hit this right, all three Reds could end up moving. It's in the ballpark. He's got one. He's got two. Catches the third one, and will get it out of the rings. And out of play, I believe. That's worth a replay. This is what they were unsuccessful at trying in the last, and they never did get the rock out of the forefoot. This time able to do it on the first attempt. Not just a question of getting the double. Even if you stuff that last one and move it over to the 8-foot somewhere, it's helpful. But to get it all the way out, now Ramsfjell coming around a yellow center guard. He's got to be careful not to overbury this, because you leave a shot on the outturn side, a chase and roll behind the corners, and Kevin Cooey's got a chance to perhaps set up his deuce again. Oh, and that spun a little bit at the end, and I think they might have left it. He was just dead buried, and then it took a bit of a spin at the end. You can see a sliver of it, and there's good late movement here in Swift Current. Aaron with the big weight on his first one to get the triple. Now has to dial it back, throw the quieter weight. See if he can chase around the guard and make the roll to the corner. Gonna get a piece, but it's a very thin piece. He'll push it into the 12-foot, but the shooter rolls away. A nice thing for Ramsfjell with that redstone staying for a piece of the 12-foot, at least for now. The force is in order. May not be a blank opportunity. Looking for the come around on center once again. Lots of room by the guard. They have to keep this fairly high in the house because the guard is so long. This might be short of the rings altogether, though. So an opportunity now for the Cooey team to be the first one around cover. Tyler Tardy, the left-hander on his outturn. Going to be a little bit light as well. And now huge opportunity for whoever can get back there first, because the angle on that yellow-red that are so close together, there's not going to be any kind of run back. You're not going to make a double peel and get the rock out of the house, regardless of which team plays it. And we're getting late in the end here. First team to get around to the top of the forefoot, going to be in a very good position to score, whether it's Cooey getting 2 or Ramsfjell perhaps setting up another steal. Got a nice line coming by, but once again, it's going to come up a little bit short. Probably forces the Cooey team to try the other turn. Now, with Tyler Tardy, the left-hander, you've got him throwing his in-turn here, and that might actually benefit them trying to come around. Most players find they get a little bit more curl on the in-turn side. See if they can find the weight down this path. Line looks good. Line looks real good. Needs it to stop in front of the tee line. And it will come to rest. Full 4. Didn't quite get all the way behind cover. That's probably the straighter of the 2 turns. It's been my observation in the sheets that I've called so far this weekend is that there's usually one turn curls just a little bit more than the other. It's not that you can't get behind from both sides, but it does look like the in-turn, as we're playing to the home end on this particular sheet, curling a little bit harder than that one did. And because maybe this turn's not curling quite as hard, it's difficult to play the chase. So Ramsfjell is going to look to come and sit right on the face of that and shrink the rings here. At least get his chance for the force. Still has room by the guards. They don't want to bounce off this. He's going to get to enough of it that he can afford to tap it now. That's a really good shot because you can still see half of the red one, which is enough to run onto the yellow if Kevin leaves it for him. So now what do you do if you're Kevin Cooey? You hate to throw a center guard with last rock. Left the ice while that shot was being made. He comes down back to the ice and says, well, why did we let him make that? That was a pretty good shot. I don't know what you can do about it. You throw a guard, he could run the guard back. Red onto yellow, you're still in trouble. Do you ever try to freeze the red yourself so that he has to play yellow, red, yellow, and then he's going to leave your Yellowstone where you might be able to do something with it? Aaron's looking at the guard. That does appear to be what they've settled on. The danger in the guard is that you might leave the guard in a spot where he can try the straight back run back, because if you're out long, if you're higher than the red guard that's just touching the center line, he can't even hurt himself running it back, because in order to hurt himself, he'd have to go over the top of the red stone in the rings and that won't even be possible. Not a comfortable shot, but it's all he's got. He's got to take away the angle raise on the red. Kevin Cooey with his first here in the second end, looking for a guard. Nice just to hook that on that redstone a little bit. Oh, and it might have rolled off just a little too far. It's hard to tell. To me, it looks like it might be there. Now, whether or not Ramsfjell wants to take the risk, that's a whole other question. He'd have to hit that yellow one right on the nose, and the longer guard is almost in the way, too. He's going to try the draw. Based on the other rocks that I've seen down this path, I'm not sure it's there. By the time he gets by the stone at the top of it, just nibbling the top of the forefoot, I don't think he can get enough of the button to be shot rock. And you'd hate to play this shot and kind of show Kevin the path to follow you down and tap it back for two. Short is the miss here. You miss it short, and Kevin's probably got to try the wide in-turn draw to catch the very edge of the forefoot. Curling now. Yeah, they're just going to leave it short, take away the draw path on that side. So Kevin Cooey with his final stone looking at the wide in-turn draw. He's going to need a good piece of the forefoot. Can't see a lot of it, but from what we've seen of this sheet so far, this does look like the turn that will curl a lot harder. We saw all of the come-arounds on this side. A few of them crashed. He does have to go wider again. So once again, they've changed the path for the draw. All of this discussion will probably be about the best guess for the weight here. Final stone, second end, Kevin Cooey trailing by 2. He's got 1 on the button now, looking for the second point. Boy, that looked like it grabbed, and the sweepers disappeared on that one, and it comes to rest short. That definitely picked something, but had they stayed with it, they might still have been able to get there. Let's take one more look at this. The brushers were guessing a little bit on the way too. You saw Tyler Tardy was sweeping a bit early. Then at the hog line, they start to think, well, this is heavy. And you can see both of them stop. When that stone grabbed, there was nobody there to pick up the brush. If they're able to pick up the brushes a little bit right when it picks, they might have been able to get the second. As it is, it's a single point for Kevin Cooey. He trails 2-1. Ramsfjell with last rock in the third.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Sean Joyce with you here live from Swift Curry. It's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. We've got essentially playoff action. It's not at the championship round yet, but this is do or die for these teams looking to get into a qualifying game in just a few hours' time. They'll have to play back-to-back. Ramsfjell with the early advantage, having stolen 2 in the first and gets the force in the second. A bit of an unfortunate break for the Cooey team with the pick on his last stone, although it might have been heavy if it doesn't pick, but after the pick, they might have had the opportunity to get their deuce if someone had been... both brushers dropped off thinking it was heavy. If either one of them stays with it, they might have been able to still get that in for the second point. He might have to start running guards back. I looks a little better on this one. He does need to get to the inside of that yellow. Now it's curling. Boy, that took off on them. Absolutely took off. Just going to rub the yellow. Well, we definitely saw a pick on Kevin's last stone last end. It's hard to say. That one didn't look like a hard pick, but that's certainly more curl than we've seen on anything on that side. And, I mean, he had good hack weight anyway. Kevin would love to be able to move that stone, but this side is just so straight. A little bit of movement here. He's got room by the guard. Now they'll try to carve it over. See, if you get close enough to the center line, you do get some finish there. He manages to get to 3/4, taps it back behind the tee line. Left his shooter in a pretty good spot. I think for Ramsfjell to play the double, he's probably got to play off the back one first, which he could do. I mean, they're close together. He's considering running the guard as well towards the cornerstone. Thinking about the thin double hitting the one near the center line first. It's really tough to clear the reds with that. He's probably going to lose one red one like this. The concern is you don't want to hit this too thick and lose and stuff it. Catches it, actually does get it thin enough to clear, but by doing that, he hits the back end of the second one and his shooter keeps spinning through. He sits 3 right now, but they're all behind the tee line. A good freeze now. You'd be shot rock welded on the pinhole. Basically the same path, the same shot Aaron Sluchinski just made, this time for Tyler Tardy. Line looks tighter early. Aaron Sluchinski working hard on the brush, has to get by the guard. And they're going to rub it on the way by. They'll still get into the rings, but continues to leave Ramsfjell sitting 3. He's got to take away the path to that freeze. Doesn't need to be right down to it himself. Full 8 foot, he's still sitting 4. Ton of room. I don't know that this has got the weight to get there. It'll take away the path to the stones at the back of the tee line, but the outturn path is probably still there and probably curls a little more too. Or I guess it would be the in-turn for Tyler. This surprised me. I'm a little surprised they're not playing the other side. Now you did see that gesture from Kevin. He's thinking even if we get corner frozen here, we wouldn't necessarily be shot. But if you corner freeze on this side, now you can come off the yellow into the yellow in the 8 foot, the one that's sitting there now, into this rock, and it's not going anywhere. This one looks like it's got nice line coming by. He's got to get right down to the corner of the red, though. Oh, good job by the brushers. They do get it right down to the corner. It's second shot, but you can see now if you play off that yellow stone on the side of the 8 foot, come into the stone that was just thrown, all it's doing is going into the reds. There's no place else for it to go. Ramsfjell knows that, so he's going to have to make sure he's got a shot through the middle. They're going to play the peel on the guard. And if they get the bonus, they'd love to catch that yellow one off the side of the 8 foot at the same time. He's got one. He's got the second one, but stuffs it. It is a little thinner now if they decide to play that in off. You could play the red one back as well. You might be able to get all 4 of them just because of the angles. Drive the one in the 12 foot. You got to just miss the yellow at the corner of the button. Catch that red at the back of the button. It'll clip both stones behind it. And with the spin you could get and the weight that Kevin throws, there is a chance all 4 of them go. Kevin's thinking about throwing the guard for now because he is sitting second shot. I don't hate the guard. You make the guard, he probably tries to peel it again, and then that'll be what they're talking about. If that's what happens, what are we throwing with the last one? Are we trying to steal here? Are we just trying to hold him to one? He's always going to have to draw on the out-turn side. Eric Martin making his way down now. He's looking at the blast. The problem I see with the blast is you're going to roll off. He's going to be able to make a hit on that yellow stone that's on the corner of the button now. And yeah, you'll get the force, but he's going to have a relatively easy shot to get his single. If you could ever play that yellow into the red, you might have a chance to steal. But how much risk do you want to take? And that's what Kevin is looking at. If we could make the yellow onto the red, and you probably have to come off the other yellow to do it, you would be in a position to possibly steal. The problem is that red one in the 12-foot is available to run back. Would you be leaving any kind of shot for 3 or even perhaps 4? I'm not sure if he's playing the guard here, if he's trying to corner freeze the yellow again. Corner freeze the yellow again, it's still the same problem for Ramsfjell. He can't play anything into it yet because the yellow would go into the red. I will say if he's playing the freeze again, it's a very patient call, but I like it. It's you delay the shot to get the red moving until your very last stone, so that Ramsfjeld's only got one chance against a possible steal to do anything about it. This might just be the straight guard. And that's fine too. Just take the run back away from Ramsfjell for now. Forces Ramsfjell to look at the angles here and what he might want to do. You could play the yellow-red, try to come almost straight back, pick that yellow out of the corner of the button. Looking at perhaps the out-turn draw as well. It looks like their primary consideration right now is the double run back. He knows that Kevin's got something off that side, or even directly if he wants to. His only way to get rid of that yellow would be the double run. You draw to the side of the button like that, I'm not sure you make his shot any harder. You might even make it easier. You might be able to come at it directly then and just try to pick it sideways. Gonna give it a go. Just get right to the face of his own red so that he's almost touching the side of that yellow. Then it probably can't make it to the back red. Any attempt to play it, you're probably spinning back towards the open. Not playing with a lot of space here. This is the side that curls more though. He should be able to get to that spot. Wants to put this right on the S3 basically. not playing with a lot of real estate here, so it'll be all up to the brushers. Ramsfjell with his first in the third end. Sitting shot, back of the button. Plenty of room coming by, but it should move hard coming into the house. There it goes. There it goes, but they maybe waited just a little bit too long on it now. He does still have probably 2/3 of that, so if Kevin plays the yellow onto the red, yeah, that's the thing. They might have to guard that. If they were to play that out of the shot now, Ramsfjell has that red one to run onto the yellow, and it still could be for a pile. You've got the force right now. They're worried if they guard it, Ramsfjell might try to run it back, catch what he can see of that red stone, and get the yellow that way. Talking about getting it cornered on that redstone just so he can't do that. I'm not entirely sure that if Ramsfjell wanted to, he couldn't still play the yellow onto the red and catch that yellow off the side of the 4-foot, even if he has to take it off one of the other reds. It's still worth probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 if you stick it, so that's probably worth the risk. So that's where it would be nice here if Kevin can overlap 2 of these rocks, whether he overlaps the yellow guard and his shooter, or the shooter and that red at the top of the 12-foot, he probably takes away every possible raise. Got some input from the other end. And I have to admit, from those gestures, I'm not sure what the concern was, but he came down, clarified something, and essentially it's still the same shot. It might have to do more with where he's trying to end up. And it did look like they're still playing the corner freeze on the redstone that's just biting the 12-foot, which is where I think you need to be to take away all the possible runbacks. Eric Martin has been on this all the way down. He switched around to the other side now to try to get some curl. They would like to overlap something here. Well, the yellow that was just thrown onto the guard, or pardon me, onto the red in the top of the 4-foot into the yellow, probably still there. The yellow guard into the red in the 12-foot, directly at the yellow on the corner of the button, might be there. That's hard to tell from our camera angle. This is going to certainly look like the easier one to call. You play the nose hit basically on the stone that Kevin just threw. Clip that red that Magnus threw on his first one, and it's going to go on to that yellow stone at the corner of the button. And it could be for 4. They did look, I mean, I think what they were looking for was to see if there's any way they could hurt themselves. And the only way you could hurt yourself here is if you could drive the yellow across the face of the red enough that it comes straight back and picks your shot stone out and rolls. And I don't think you can. I think if you're as straight onto that red as you could be, you just jam, and you're still getting one. But if you can get the nose hit here, this could be for 4. And they're on the offside. They're looking for curl right away. This is wide. It's going to be on the front one. Oh, fortunate not to clip that yellow at the side, because then it could have come back and kicked the yellow in for shot. It'll be a single point for Ramsfjell here in the third. He jumps out to a 3-1 lead. Kevin Cooey dodges a bit of a bullet, and he'll have last rock in the fourth.
Hey Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at the RockShop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. The RockShop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Fourth end underway here. Ramsfjell once again with the 2-point lead. Tries to bring the first stone in the top of the fourth, but it actually slides to the back of the butt. You can see the corner guard thrown by Carrick Martin. Next up now we'll try to throw the guard. Trying to get it back to that center line so it's in the no-tick zone. And it will. Carrick Martin now being asked to come down and sit on top of that redstone just back of the tee line. See a few comments in the chat. Just to clarify it for anybody that wasn't already certain, they do not have time clocks in play here in Swift Current. You don't see time clocks at very many of the Bonds fields. There's a heavy demand on volunteers to run those. Not to mention the time clocks typically are available only for rent, and that just adds to the cost. Martin gets to the freeze enough that he's got shot rock, I believe, but didn't get right to the face, so there's room to get to the inside of that. Maybe wiggle it so there's an escape path for the yellow. Sweeping for a curl early. He'd like to get to the inside of that yellow. Gets almost to the nose. When he taps it back, I still think they're lined up so that the red-yellow is probably lined up to clip that red at the back. Now, if you get to the inside of the red, it probably drags enough to go by it. Evan thinking about just the draw tap. He wants to break up that existing freeze. Loves to tap it back to the other red. I think when you get to the inside, which he still wants to get to the inside, he'd love to get his shooter buried in front of the tee line. But then you drag a little bit even at this weight, and it probably doesn't go to the back one. He still needs to break up the two that are there, though. Aaron Sluchinski. Just looking to come down, break up the existing freeze, and maybe get to the inside. A little bit of a roll. This is close. Oh, that's really good. Taps it back, changes the angle in the top two. They now clear everything at the back for sure. It's the red sitting shot rock, but Ramsfjell's still in a little bit of trouble right now. Gonna look to come right down to the back one, and this is as much as anything else just a way to eliminate that stone. He knows that the red at the side of the forefoot is as good as gone. He doesn't have a way to eliminate any of the yellow stones from the rings, so freeze to the face of it. It removes the danger of this back stone anyway. This is not a gimme though. This is the straighter turn. A lot of room yet by the guard. It'll come to rest back of the button. It is shot rock. So Sluchinski now will look to follow that down, sit on top of it. They've still got that angle on the other side. They can use that whenever they want. This has definitely got tighter line than Ramsfjell had. So he's going to try to hold this one straight. He needs to stay a piece on that red, and Will just taps it back. Cooey sitting shot second and I think third at the back. Both belong to Ramsfjell. Got to be a little careful here. He talked about just blasting out the yellow-red off the side. When I hit that on the nose and stay right there. He's talking about the freeze as well. The danger in the freeze is that you might leave it in a spot where a nose hit on that yellow at the top of the forefoot would just kill the red that's behind it and come across and hit the one you're about to throw. So you see where he tapped the ice. He wants to get to across the face of that yellow so that that double attempt will move the yellow off the button as well. This is a very precise shot. first one, but it's still more line than what Sluchinski just had. He's going to come down, chip the yellow stone, but his shooter will roll to the back of the 8-foot. Cooey continues to sit one. The yellow-red combination on the side of the 4-foot still goes by that shot stone. Tyler Tardy making his way down to take a look at these angles. I think they've settled on the draw one more time. Try to come into the top button area. Sit 2 behind cover. Still got lots of room by the guard. Starting to move now. They've been on the brush a little bit all the way down. They'd like to get full 4 out of this. It might come up short. And now Ramsfjell looking at a draw around the outside. He's got to come by that stone that was just thrown. That's going to make this a different path. Both brushers down a little bit early. Now they're backed away. He's got plenty of room yet, it looks like. Moving as it comes into the house, but they don't really want to go. It might be a little bit strong. Will come down and gets to the face of his own stone. And who's got shot rock? It's close. I think it's yellow. I'm not sure it matters to the call here. Kevin thinks it's yellow. I think it's the same call no matter what. I think you're coming down trying to sit on that red stone. I don't even think necessarily that you want to try to move it yet. You sit right on it, on the inside corner of it ever so slightly, because then that nose hit on the yellow at the side is coming across into that. Tyler Tardy a little light on the first attempt. See if he can pick up the weight just a little bit here. They've got to get it by the one out front. They will. Now, can he get just to the inside corner? He does. That's a really nice shot. I was wondering if Ramsfjell might look at this at some point in time. What I think he's looking at is if he could ever just... He could see about a quarter of that red stone at the side of the 4-foot. If he could ever just hit what he can see, or even a little bit less, he could jam it into those yellows in the button area. If you ever clip the yellow, you're in all kinds of trouble, but there are options if you make the red. Well, he's wondering, can he make the yellow and kill one of the yellows in the house? That's scary. There's a chance you just dead stuff it, leave it dead buried, and then he can come off the red. The red's going to be wide open after that. You hit the yellow too thick. If it touches the red at all, it comes straight into the side of that yellow. I like the chisel on the red if he could make it. I think that's what they're playing. Try to hit what he could see of that redstone, even thinner. Move it close to straight sideways. You actually could probably double out the two yellows that are biting the button. You can get the one at the back of the button first, and then it'll continue to scoot across and kick the other one straight sideways. Big shot here. You could really flip the momentum in this end. On the brush right away, they have not come off. It's actually going to touch the yellow one. Now that's enough to drive it straight across and get rid of the shot stone, but it leaves Cooey sitting 2. And he's got the inside available on that redstone, whether you freeze to it or play off of it. Probably you might like to move it just so they don't have the same slash attempt. Hard to get your shooter into a great spot off this though, because that yellow actually where it stopped, you hit and roll. I guess you can roll just to it, just don't move it. That's pretty good. Fairly certain they're going to play something on that redstone. The question is, how much weight do you want to play? And if you're trying to move it, how far are you trying to roll here? With that one, they're talking about, do you try to move the yellow stone at the top of the button over a little bit, so maybe you've got it available to use on the last one? You don't want to punch it too far, though. If you could move it over maybe 6 inches, that'd be really nice. I think that's what they've settled on. They're going to play quiet weight here, just try to get to the inside of that redstone, have the shooter come across, nudge the shot stone over a little bit. You don't want to leave anything too overlapped. And this is not going to be a lot of weight. Doesn't even matter if he kills the redstone. It's all about getting to the inside of it. Just needs to move it back enough so that he doesn't have that same attempt to chisel it in. Trailing by 2, Kevin Cooey with his first here in the 4th end. Chance to set up a really big score here. Needs to get to the inside of the redstone at the edge of the 4-foot. They're sweeping for curl. Sweeping for curl. Sweeping for curl. He's going to get to the nose, just to the nose. Chisels the red back, but moves it far enough that he's only sitting 1 right now. Sure about the angles that Ramsfjell's looking at. Does he think he can get to the inside of that yellow? I'm myself thinking if he could... Well, I guess he's worried about the little tap on this one. Yeah, he might be worried about the tap for 2. You nose hit this one, there's not going to be a tap, and I don't think they could move the red one at the back of the 4-foot enough to bring that other Yellowstone back into play either. So basically just looking for the nose hit here. Now he does have to be a little bit careful. You just saw with Kevin Cooey's, you don't get as much curl here on this side when you throw a little bit extra weight. You hit this on the outside at all, you could jam it on that stone at the back of the 4-foot and possibly leave it sitting second. Don't think there's any worry about that. This is already curling. By the front one. Will get to the nose, just drives it by the stones at the back. Kevin Cooey will have, I think, a draw for 2. I don't believe he can move that far enough to get 3. If he could get to the inside of it, he might be able to, but you know, it's an 1/8 of a stone buried under the stone at the top of the button. I just don't see how he could get to the inside. Little bit of a missed opportunity here already for the Cooey team. If he gets to the inside of that stone on the last one, he might have been looking at a chance for 3. As it is, needs full 4-foot with his final stone, can pick up the deuce and tie things up after 4 ends. Must-win game for these teams. The winner will move on to a qualifying game scheduled to start at 9 o'clock tonight. I have a feeling if we go the distance here, it might be starting a few minutes late. Final stone on the way. Sitting one right now, needs full 4-foot. Pressure's just cleaning. He's got lots of room. They're actually sweeping now to try to get by their own, because if they had chipped, and you know, I'd have to see the replay. I think he did rub the yellow on the way by, but just rubbed it, and enough to stay for 2. We'll see one more time as this is coming by. The decision is made at the last minute to try to hold this straight so that he doesn't touch his own. If he touches his own, he could spin off that back one. And as it's coming by the stone at the top of the button, yeah, I think it rubbed it just a little bit, and that's why you see that little bit of spin to the outside after it makes contact with the red. But it does stop just in time. Kevin Cooey picks up his deuce. We're all tied up after 4 ends here. Ramsfjell with last rock. We come back for end number 5.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
All tied up here as we begin play in the fifth end. The RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown live in Swift Current. My name's Sean Joyce. Happy to be with you this evening. They're not calling it a page playoff, but essentially it's page playoff to determine the 8 qualifiers here in Swift Current. We've already found out the 4-1-2 winners. They're going to wait to see who they play tomorrow. But here as we play on in the essentially the 3-4 games, the winners of these games on the ice right now will be right back on at 9 o'clock. I keep talking about that. I should point out it's Mowat, Van Amsterdam, Carruthers, and White took the 4 spots out of the essentially 1-2 games, so they've advanced through to the championship round tomorrow, the round of 8. Waiting to see who they will play. With the tie game here as we begin in end number 5, we saw the center guard thrown up first. The corner guard, the come around. The attempted freeze is a little bit short, and now Ramsfjell looking to come into the corner. Wants this deep enough that they don't leave a double off of it. I think the call was to come into the rings. As it turns out, they get a corner guard, and that might be better. If he ends up biting, there's a double. But it's just the 4th stone of the end. You can't peel it when it's a corner guard. Cooey thinking about the tap on that red stone. It's tough. This is the straighter turn for sure. Aaron Sluchinski with the chase, trying to get tight to the guard, move that red stone back. Doesn't need to get it out necessarily, but certainly would like to get it behind the tee line. Oh, they're just going to get by the guard. We'll tap it back, and we'll get it all the way through the back and out of play. Ramsfjell would love to be able to get out of this end with a blank, so he's going to look to peel that center guard, and the bonus would be if they could pick the one off the side of the 8-foot at the same time. Not the way they were playing it, but they do get rid of 2 yellows. It's the 2 in the middle. Sluchinski being asked to come around the red center guard now, and up high in the house. You can't afford to be deep. You'll have, if you're in the 4-foot here, they've got a double off the one in the open. I'll bring that stone into the top 12-foot. Almost dead behind. Ramsfjell looking at the run again. This time it's his own stone coming back. Would like to take another yellow with it. Bendik Ramsfjell once again. This time with the hit a little bit thinner. Will catch that stone at the side of the 8. And as a bonus, he leaves the raised stone, the red stone, in the rings. As much as Kevin Cooey would love to see a force here, he doesn't want to force him to 2, so he's going to have to make a play on that stone. Boy, he needs to stay on this. He's going to hit this awfully thin. And will roll through the back and out of play. And so now Ramsfjell with a chance to hit and roll to the corner. He'd love a blank, but he'll take two if he gets the chance, especially if it's risk-free. If you can roll to the corner here, there's nothing left in the center. Sweeping for curl early, though. This has got to move a lot if they're going to get a roll towards those corner guards. They'll get back to the nose, but that's all. Tyler Tardy now will try to hit and roll behind the corner. This is one where they won't necessarily try to bury it quite as far behind the corner. You get half to 2/3 behind cover. Then if they're going to try to draw that direction, they have to come around the yellow, but he's going to be right on the nose as well. Does stay just out of the rings. That's a dangerous stone for Ramsfjell to leave there, so he's going to play the hit and roll again. And it's high enough now, it's getting a little tougher to get into the rings. They got to throw a little bit quieter weight, try to hit it a little thinner, get the steeper roll, get into the rings. Looking for some curl now. He's going to get the thinner hit, but it might be too thin. All the way through the side to the divider. Down to Skip Stones, and Cooey probably has to come around. He doesn't want to give up the blank here. Never real comfortable coming around a corner guard without last rock, but in the fifth end, Cooey can ill afford to give up an easy blank. Haven't seen a lot of play to the corner so far in this game, but I've seen it in previous games, and I will say that there has been, it doesn't matter which side seems to be the straight turn going towards center. Both turns seem to really move hard towards the corner, so should be able to get this buried. There it goes, moving big. He needs to stop in front of the tee line, though.
Not too deep.
By the front one. About half in behind cover. In the 8-foot, that's a pretty good shot. Ramsfjell will look to try to pass it through the rings, but he'll have to roll into the open himself. Got to make sure he hits it first and gets it out. After that, you'd love to get the big roll if you're Ramsfjell. Get to the center line, perhaps, so that it's real hard for Kevin to try to roll back behind cover. And you might be able to get out of this with a blank. Going to say it didn't look like he was narrow, and they're sweeping for curl now. Can ill afford to roll out on this. Going to get a piece. Now where's the shooter going to end up? It will roll all the way through the back and out of play, and that gives Kevin Cooey a chance to come around once again, and this time he can afford to be deep. If you dead bury it, you've probably got the force. He had nice line on the last one to bury. It just needed to slide a couple feet more to be dead buried. Even back 12-foot on this one, you probably force Ramsfjell to take a single, as long as you can dead bury it. You'll leave him any piece at all, and Ramsfjell probably tries for the blank. Tyler Tardy was down early, but this has got a lot of room yet. So the last one, it curls nice coming in, but this is still a long ways from the guard. Sweeping for curl. They're going to try to bring this as far back as they can now, see how much of it they can get behind cover. Probably has just a sliver more behind the guard, but there's also more room coming by. Ramsfjell not going to throw this likely any harder than he threw the last one. Wanted a blank here. If he can make the hit and roll out, he will get what he wanted. We'll have presumably 2 hammers to 1 in a tie game as we turn around to play the 6th. Cleaning early. This looks like he's got tighter line than his first one. Certainly tighter by the guard. They're going to make the hit. I'm not sure this rolls out though. It will not. He sticks around back of the 8-foot. So Kevin Cooey with a nice draw on his last one. Forces the little bit of a mistake. It's a single point for Ramsfjell. He does take the lead, but Kevin Cooey takes the hammer into the 6th.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatchewan in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Sixth end as we return to the action here. Ramsfjell picked up the single that he didn't really want in the 5th, had the opportunity for the blank. Just didn't throw the second stone the same as he threw the first one, gets a little too much of it, hangs around in the back. He does have the lead, but Kevin Cooey will try to generate a deuce here in the 6th. He throws up the corner guard to start things off. And now Ramsfjell will look to guard shot stone in the top of the 4-foot. They get a little bite of the center line, so it's in the no-tick zone. Derek Martin with his second now will look to freeze to that shot stone, top of the forefoot. Got room by the guard, now sweeping for curl. Now back to straight. Will get down to the face, taps it back a few inches, stays directly in front of it. It's a really good shot. Magnus Ramsfjell now will try to follow it down again. A lot of rotation on this stone, so they should be able to carry it a long ways if they need to. Comes down, taps the yellow. To frozen on the red. So the yellow's not going anywhere very soon. Kevin thinking about this, not a peel per se. He wants to get the center guard off, but he wants to roll to another corner. You want to keep the shooter here. But they're going to be a little bit thin on the peel. They lose the shooter. Ramsfjell wondering about, do we peel the corner guard? That is what they're going to settle on. The angles in the house right now favor Kevin Cooey, but hard to generate a deuce with no guards this early in the end. And you have to figure Kevin Cooey's going to throw probably at least two more corner guards, expecting that Ramsfjell will peel him. You don't make your play into the house too early. You give him too many chances for a double. The danger, of course, if you throw one too many corner guards, Ramsfjell decides, no, we're not peeling that one. We're going to throw a center guard ourselves because we are still shot rock. I have to believe he would throw at least two more peels, but he might guard with skips first. It's always the interesting part of the cat and mouse in these situations too, is you really have to try to guess when your opposition is going to switch gears, and if you're wrong, it can come back to haunt you. I've tried turning around and asking them, but you know, I'm not sure that they wouldn't lie to you. So Kevin not liking the idea of throwing one more guard. He's going to go after the stone at the top of the 8-foot right now. Really needs to get it clean by the two behind it and hold the shooter at the same time. Does not want to disturb those two stones at the top of the button, top 4-foot. This is basically like a draw weight split. Gets the chip past the two. Gets the shooter well over to the outside. Doesn't matter that it's fourth. The critical thing there was to not leave any kind of a a double off that stone. Ramsfjell's choices are to hit the open one, or you could throw like a hack way to try to nose the one in the middle. I don't know that you'd play that yet. It's still going to be open later on. Make the hit, roll into the 8-foot themselves. I think Cooey's probably trying a freeze now. Could freeze either one of those. The two reds that are open are both behind the tee line. That gives him a couple of rocks he could try to freeze to. Just keep the play away from those middle ones for now. If they stay wide open, he's got a nose hit on those with his last stone to count two. If you ever weld one of these on good enough that Ramsfjell isn't able to get it out, three's not out of the question yet. Boy, they've got perfect line if they can get it right to the face of that red. It's going to leave a little bit of a gap, but the line's really good. Ramsfjell can probably blast it out, but he's going to lose his shooter and the red behind it, likely. Boy, talking about trying to stick around there, you got to throw such quiet weight on that. It's really risky. Also talking about the blast, does he think he can make the double on the yellows? Maybe. As long as you get the second one out, even to free up the first one's not a bad result. Keeps looking at it. I'm not sure if he's trying to talk Gautier into it or trying to talk himself into it. The key to that shot is you've got to get the second red, and there it is. That's the other possibility, and talked about that earlier, is that at some point in time he may just decide to guard that stone. He does have shot rock. The scary thing for Ramsfjell, though, is that Cooey right now is sitting second and third. So it looks like he did settle on hitting the Yellowstone at the edge of the 8-foot. He's just going to try to blast it out. Might be looking for the straight pick here. We're on the rush all the way down. Makes the hit, does clip the back one. Shooter will roll all the way across and out of play. So now just the three rocks in the house. Looking at going to the open side. I think the reason for that, you make the freeze on the existing red stone. You look at the yellow red that are frozen in the middle. They're a little off center, so you go to that side, what they're worried about. And you saw Ramsfjell was looking at the double off the center one on the last one. Well, it's a little bit more makeable if you could hit it on the other side of the rock. So you come to the open side, let him hit the one that you're about to throw. And then you've got the nose hit at the back. The question is, can you get this one far enough back? And that's, Kevin didn't think so. Figures where you've got to be third shot. He could still roll to the back of the 4-foot, and then that nose hit at the top would only be for one. See Ramsfjell off to the side at the back, trying to stay warm. We have seen a lot of winter coats out there this weekend in Swift Current, so I think that's probably a colder ice surface. Kevin thinking about playing the freeze to that red and staying on the inside corner of it, because, again, they're worried that Ramsfjell could just blast those two. If he could hit it on, as we look at the house, as we look at Kevin and Aaron in the house, if you hit that yellow on the left-hand side with weight, you can blast the yellow all the way out, and the shooter will be coming towards that red. So if they're playing the freeze, they're thinking about playing it on the side that I didn't mind that idea. Aaron looking at, do you lock another freeze right on top? And what does he do if you do that? I don't hate freezing the yellow. You freeze the yellow, I guess the question then becomes, what does Ramsfjell do? But if he throws the guard, it's Kevin Cooey, and he can just run it back. Still for two if you're frozen at 3 rocks in a row and he just guards for his life. It's a straight back for a deuce still. Now talking about hitting the one at the edge of the 8-foot, that's not a bad call either. You hit it, roll to the open a little bit. Now that open, farther wider into the 12-foot, that big splash off the 4-foot stone, it's tougher to make contact. That's what they're going to try. Probably also hit this, and that's the one thing they didn't talk about, because originally they wanted to draw to the other side. They were worried that they couldn't put it in a spot where they could be third shot and take away the hit and roll to the back of the 4-foot. You could hit this and roll all the way to the 12-foot on the other side. This is really curling. That might have grabbed. I don't know if he's going to make contact. Well, he will hit it. It's enough to get it through the rings. Gotta believe Ramsfjell's throwing the guard now. You could blast, but it's easier to throw the guard. Yeah, with the rollout, this guard looks a lot safer for Ramsfjell. Of course, if that yellow stays in the rings anywhere, and again, it's Kevin Cooey throwing, you throw the guard, he runs it back, doubles out the reds, and it's still for 2. But now, the run back, if he chooses to take it on, is only for 1. Mind you, doesn't look like he's got much room to draw. The key here is don't leave him room to chase, where he could tap that red back and it still be for 2. Line is the most important thing here. Needs to have this dead lined up to those 2 stones. Should finish up nice. That's about as lined up as you're going to get it. And a lot of distance between those two to try any kind of a run back. But mind you, really tough to outdraw that. So you're either playing the chase or the run back lately. The chase looks tough. That was Aaron Sluchinski's first thought, though. Play the chase. Kevin seems to be looking at the chase, asking for advice from the other end. Which turn do they like? I think it's the in turn on this. As much as you know, Kevin would love to play the out turn. It does seem to be his favorite. The out turn is just so straight on this particular side of the sheet. The in turn side has a little bit more movement. Got to move 2 rocks here. If you could get right to the nose to move 2 of them, you tend to lose about 2 feet with every stone you have to move. So he's probably got to have back 8 to back 12. And that's assuming he could get to the nose. I'm not sure he can get to the nose. He might be able to get to half. Kevin's just so much more comfortable with the out turn. Just that this out turn is so straight. Doesn't change what he needs for weight here. And again, if you're not going to get to all of it, if you don't get to the nose, I talked about back 8 to back 12 if you could get to the nose. Well, if you're not getting to the nose and you still have to move it out of the forefoot, you need a little bit more weight than that. It's probably through to almost hack. Through weight anyway, to make sure that he gets the red stone out of the forefoot. Once they're sure it's by, they'll sweep for curl. They're sure it's by, they're sweeping for curl. He's getting pretty good finish. He'll get a piece of it. Now, how far back will he push it? He pushes it to the back 8. That's an outstanding shot by Kevin Cooey with his final stone. He will pick up 2. One more look at this. Great patience on the brushers and a good line call by Aaron Sluchinski as well. Once they were sure they were getting by, they start curling it, and early too. They were still 10 feet out in front of the guard. There's some surfaces where you're scared to do it that early because you might put it into the guard. Gets the tap back, manages to hold the shooter for 2, and Kevin Cooey, for the first time in this game, takes the lead. It'll be 5-4 for Cooey going into the 7th.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at the RockShop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. The RockShop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Sean Joyce with you here live. Seventh end action. Ramsfjell and Cooey. The RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. And Cooey, for the first time in the game, has the lead. They start this seventh end out with a center guard. The corner guard goes up, and now they're looking to come around to the top of the button. Plenty of room coming by. Trying to drag this as far as they can. Now he's got good line. Gets to the top of the forefoot, only about half or a little less than half behind cover. Nepstad being asked to come and sit on top of that shot stone for now. The cat and mouse for these last couple of ends is going to be interesting to watch. It always is in these situations. You've got a team in Cooey's situation here that would love to see somebody score this end a single point. Single point either way. He's either 2 up or he's tied with coming home. He's in good shape either way. For Ramsfjell, a blank is okay. In a game where deuces have been very hard to come by, he might take his deuce here if he could get it, just to make sure he's got the lead. I do see the stats will show 1 up coming home without. You still win more often than you do 1 down with. I was talking about this in one of the earlier broadcasts. I almost think you have to put a caveat on those stats. It can depend on the ice surface, but this has not necessarily been the easiest ice surface to try to generate a deuce. So if you can get your deuce here, you take it and come home with the lead. But he doesn't want to get forced. So going to try to clean up the center now. This is the 6th stone of the end. The free guard zone is over. Trying to drive yellow onto red onto yellow. I don't think it catches the back one, but you could get rid of a couple of yellows here and still leave a red in the top of the house somewhere. Yeah, it does just drive it by. Cooey sits 1, still has center guard, albeit now it belongs to Ramsfjell. Gonna play the hit on the open redstone, and looks like the call is to just stay right there. Thought they might try to roll this underneath. By staying right there, I think you give Ramsfjell a chance to peel the center guard towards this one and roll off center. Does make the hit and stays right there. I thought he'd be more worried about the center guard than that rock. These teams are so good at the runs. There's only about 7 feet between the guard and that stone. He's going to make the play in the house, though. Try to roll behind. Looks like the call is to try to roll all the way across behind the wide corner. And early swooping for curl. This might be a plan B. Try to get the double now. A little late switching gears. They tried to hold it straight, catch the second one on the way by. It does stay for second shot, but goes by the stone at the back of the forefoot. And Kevin Cooey will once again play the hit on the redstone at the top 12 and just try to stay there. Get a bit of a roll to the inside this time, and now better angle for the double. That's probably plan A now. Sessaker, first of the third stones here, looking for the double. He's got one. It'll touch the second stone, but he's not going to get it out of play, and that is huge because now the stones are split a little bit where it might be hard to get back to a blank, and that might mean that Ramsfjell is going to have to try to score his two here. He doesn't want to get forced to a single very badly. Tyler Tardy will make an attempt on that red stone on the 12-foot. Wanted to roll over, did not want to be buried, just leave it fully open, because if Ramsfjell tries to come around now, and he might have to at some point, you want to be able to use this stone. It's left him enough room on the inside. Ramsfjell thinking about playing the hit and roll behind. You won't be shot rock if you make this. Still thinks he has room to make the big roll to the corner. Probably does. He's got over a third of rock of air. Probably not quite a half. In the end, they opt for the short roll, just try to get behind their own center guard. They'll be second shot. It's got to curl if they're going to get the roll. Get the hit, but stays pretty much right there. Well, Kevin Cooey's got to get a roll just to get into the rings, though. And he might have to play for the big roll. If he just gets the short one behind the red, I'm not sure he'll be in. It would be close. Aaron Sluchinski, you see talking about rolling just past the guard to be sure they're into the 12-foot. What you don't want to do is roll right in between the two and leave a chance for the double. That's the chance Ramsfjell needs to perhaps get out of this end. He'd like to keep the blank alive if he could. Scary thing about the big roll here, you roll all the way behind the corner, and Ramsfjell with two rocks left might just come around the center. It's his own guard and try to get the skip's deuce. We've got more yellow rocks on the scoreboard than Cooey has left to play. He's down to one now after this one. There we go. He's going to make the roll. Enough to get into the rings. Did he just overroll that? I mean, he's left it fully open. That's good for Kevin, because if you do come around, he's got the raise available. The double would be tough. I don't know if he could get to the inside enough. Ramsfjell think he could hit the back one and roll in behind. That's tough too. It looks like that stone at the back 8-foot is edge to edge with the stone in the 12-foot. If you were to ever try the double and you just nose hit the one that was just thrown and miss the back one, you're still biting the 12-foot, and I don't think Kevin Cooey could hit it and get into the rings. That might keep the blank alive. I don't know if he'd throw a draw with a couple of redstones out there to run in. Ramsfjell still thinks he can get to that back one with enough to get to the inside and make the roll. This has been the straighter side the whole game. This looks tough. He does have, looks like 8-9 feet after he gets by the stone in the 12-foot to finish a little bit, get to the inside. to make sure they're by the front one. And he did get some finish on that. He'll get the back one. Not quite enough to move it through. Aaron and Kevin talking about the draw. They got to be a little bit careful. They didn't get that yellow out all the way at the back, but I think it's back far enough that if you come to the top 4 foot and leave the double off the one that's just biting the 12 foot at the top, I think it would be for 2. I think that one at the back is far enough back that the nose hit on the yellow, or the just off nose hit for the double, would be for 2. You could come all the way to the back red one and guarantee that it's going to be a force. Did look like when he left the far end, they were still looking at top button, thinking about possibly trying to steal here. Kevin Cooey with a 1-point lead as we play here in the 7th. It's his final stone. Facing one at the back of the 8 foot. He does have a guard to come around. Can come all the way to the red at the back. This has got to curl a lot though. Boy, if he's heavy here, this might just slide by everything and give Ramsfjell a chance to draw for 2. Coming up now. And slows down just enough down the middle that it will stop for Shot Rock, kind of cornered in front of the red. It's not a bad spot. Does Ramsfjell look at the double still? Looks like it. It's just a sliver high side on the yellow that's just fully in the 12 foot. You catch the one that Kevin just threw. Double the 2 yellows, and it looks like your shooter should be in far enough to pick up 2. The problem with this shot is if you ever stuff it, it's a steal of 1. If you ever over curl ever so slightly, miss the yellow, it could be right onto the red. It could be a steal of 2. They were on the brush all the way. Definitely over curling. He'll drive it by everything, so it's just going to be a steal of 1, but that's enough to give Kevin Cooey a 2-point lead going into the 8th. Cooey with a 2-point lead. Ramsfjell with the hammer. We'll see how the 8th end plays out right after this.
Hey Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
spots. Well, the 8th and perhaps final end, but perhaps not. Kevin Cooey with a 2-point lead as we begin. They brought the first stone into the rings. That's that yellow you see in the 12-foot. The corner guard ended up really, really tight, but it is a guard. And Kevin Cooey looking at the corner tick shot. I always like the fact that this, it's interesting to watch how the game evolves, but this is a shot that came from doubles play. Never used to see this shot in 4-player curling, but it's how a lot of double teams learn to deal with that power play situation. And because of that, it has crept into the 4-player game. Try to push that stone into the ring so that you can hit it on the next one. Well, that's really good. He's going to put it so tight behind the yellow that it's almost impossible to miss it. So Ramsfjell has to guard the yellow-red in the middle. And that still helps Kevin Cooey because at least now he knows that he doesn't have to worry about double corners. It's not going to be an issue now. It's going to be one center for now. This has to curl to cover up the 2 stones in 12-foot. This is awfully long. Just gets over, but you can still see 3/4 of that yellow stone top 12. Kevin showing the 3 players at the other end. There's not much room between this yellow-red. Aaron Stuchinski. Big weight here by the front one. Catches the yellow. Shooter comes across into that stone at the side. Now it still ends up off the rings, I believe, but it's in play. That one guard by itself isn't much good either. He's probably going to have to throw a tight center here. Have the long guard protect this one and then try to score your 2 around a center guard. This is going to be a tough ask for the Ramsfjell team. Not the start to this end that they really needed. The first guard a little too tight. The second guard a little too long. That last little spin at the end, I think you can get directly at that. Again, the long guard is not the one you have to worry about. You could play the double peel, but if you can see that stone, and you can, tight guard's the only one that's really got a chance to hurt you. They're going to play the double. Needs to make contact with the second stone and not going to. It's tempting to throw one more center guard up high. You'd like to come in on third's first stone. The problem is if you ever get them too close together and leave the double peel, your end is gone. So you come around the worst guard first. That's the yellow one that's just barely out of the house. And the problem here is it's tough to bury this one. As long as he's got a guard to work with, he's always alive for 2. This is, you're coming around the worst guard first. You're still possibly trying to set up 3 here. Yeah, this cannot be through, though. Oh, you cannot miss it this way. Heavy all the way through the back. It is in play, but it's far enough back. There's no jam, and now a double peel pretty much ends the game. Tyler Tardy with the big weight on his in-turn for the left-hander. Gets the one, comes across. He will just miss the second one. Now, even still, that means Ramsfjell does not have a lot to work with now. It's going to be just that very wide corner guard. It's all he's got. 3's out of the question now, and 2 just became very difficult. A lot of room by that yellow stone yet. It's trying, it's moving. Now they'll try to bring it as far back as they can, see if they can't bury a piece of it. They'll get a sliver in behind, but not much. Thrower's choice, straight pick or the run. They're going to go for the pick. Brusher's just cleaning. That's usually a pretty good indication he's got a piece all the way down. We'll clip it, just removes it from play. Shooter rolls away as well. Ramsfjell indicating he's given him just a few inches less ice here. Does look like the way that last one came by, if they're going to bury it, they're going to have to come very tight by that yellow, but it does finish there. Still has lots of room, sweeping for curl. Going to end up in almost exactly the same place. If anything, probably exposed a little bit more. And we do know Kevin likes his out turn. He could play the run. If you play the run and make it, he doesn't even have anything to hide behind with his last one. But they're going to play the in-turn. And this time playing it a little quieter. They might like to stay in the 8-foot. You play the hit and roll, you can see a lot more of this rock. You hit and roll into the 8-foot somewhere. If Ramsfjell ever was able to bury behind that yellow stone, you could just draw and sit 2 and he might not have a shot. Tighten the broom up, so I don't think he's trying to stay now. Makes the hit, will roll all the way across it, out of play, and Ramsfjell has nowhere else to hide. He's going to have to try to get around that yellow stone somehow. Had different ice on the last 2 and really came by both of them the same amount. Didn't get the same amount of finish on the second one. If If you ever do dead bury it, it is a yellow stone, and Kevin Cooey will likely just play the out-turn run back. He's so good at those. Your best possible scenario is just hang it on to the back of the 12-foot. Even at that, you're so far out in the wings, you're not going to have more than about 6 feet of separation, I wouldn't think, if you can dead bury it. And we haven't seen anything in the last couple to make it look like you're going to get that much finish. This one might have better line, but it also looks like it's got quite a bit of weight again. It's going to slide. It's going to slide. I think it's through the back. And the gloves come off. It is through the back. Ramsfjell runs out of rocks here. Cannot pick up the deuce. So Kevin Cooey will move on. He picks up the victory here over Magnus Ramsfjell in this essentially page 3-4 format of the playoffs. That'll move them into the qualifying game in about half an hour's time. We will continue to have all of the action for you live. Another draw yet tonight to determine the playoff qualifiers, and then playoff action tomorrow here from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Live in Swift Current. We've been here all weekend long. We'll be here for another day. I want to thank you all for joining us. My name is Sean Joyce, and Connor Sims had the production for me tonight. We'll be back with you for the qualifying games in about half an hour.